Hello everyone, in today's video we'll be painting a beautiful, fluid, and vibrant in color butterfly. I want to go over the materials quickly. So we're going to be using Fabriano watercolor paper. This is in cold press. This is a 5x7 pad of watercolor paper by Fabriano, and I'm loving it so far. I'm using a brush to wet the paper from a company called Home Hobby. And then I'm going to be using a number of brushes to fill in the details, and all of the brushes I will leave in the description box so that you can click on the link, and the link will take you straight to the product to try it out and purchase it. All right, so I have pretty much wet the paper in the shape of the butterfly. Oh, I forgot to tell you the watercolors that I'm using. So the watercolors that I'm using are a brand called St. Petersburg. It's a travel size watercolor palette. As you can see, I haven't opened up all of the colors because some of the colors are very similar, but the colors are really vibrant, and they flow almost like inks. So you can see that I'm putting down some orange color now, and I am just filling in like the smaller details of the butterfly first, and then I'm going to go back in and sort of outline the butterfly in black. And the black color that I'm using is by St. Petersburg. Now, if you wanted to use, I really like to use a black ink it's a Sumi ink, Japanese ink, and you can get that pretty much at most art stores. Even if you shop at like craft stores like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something, you can get that black ink there. So that's a really great black ink to use. It has a lot of flow, a lot of vibrancy. It stays, it doesn't fade. But like I said, I'm using St. Petersburg for this tutorial. And the brush that I'm using is a Japanese calligraphy brush. It's a smaller size. And I'm pretty much just outlining the shape of the butterfly. I always use like a photo reference when I'm doing butterflies, either photo reference or a real butterfly if I can. But what I like to do is to use my imagination just to take the butterfly painting or whatever kind of painting to just kind of allow the watercolors and the inks to blend or do whatever it wants to do on its own, and feed from there. You don't really have to do it exactly like your photo reference. And butterflies to me are sort of like how people describe eyebrows. Like eyebrows are like cousins and not identical twins. If you like arch your eyebrows or you fill it in, that's just a reference that I'm using. So I say that because it's hard to get the other side exactly the same way as one side. One side might come out, for me, one side might come out a little bit larger. One side might come out a little bit different in color. So I love to just paint one side of the butterfly. I think that's absolutely fine. I like when you kind of allow the imagination of the viewer to tell the rest of the story. Right now I'm going to fill in the other side of the butterfly with just black, but you can always cut it. And that's probably what I'm going to do, is just cut that part off. But I just want to give you guys another option. You can do one side printed, one side solid. That's a cool way to do it. You can leave one side white. I think that is perfectly fine, especially for this size paper. It's not a really large size paper, so it's cool to leave something blank, like negative space on the paper. But like I said, I am going to fill in this with a little bit of black, and or even you see how I have drawn that line with the tip of my brush? I like for it to be like that. Like if you wanted to do a line drawing on the other side, I think that's really cool too. You see, I'm taking the tip of my brush and outlining it. And then you can just fill in that part with water. The first part of the butterfly, especially the middle, like the body, is still wet, so the color is going to bleed. Whatever you do, my tutorials are for people who like to paint things loosely. Flowers, animals, whatever, things very loose and effortlessly. So whatever you do, try not to fill in every little piece of your painting. As you can see, there's a lot of little white specks. That makes those little white pieces make it look like it's very undone, effortless, just, you know, like you didn't really try. And as you get more comfortable with painting with the watercolors, you won't have to try so hard. So I think that's just as beautiful. If you wanted to keep it like that with one side filled in, one side pattern, you can. If you want to try the pattern on the other side, you can do that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit of white paint to do this with almost every painting that I do. And I'm just using some white paint by Arteza. And this is their gouache paint. I will leave a link for the Arteza paints as well. That's a brand that I highly, highly recommend. And I'm just putting a few lines, as you can see up here, a few dots. It just brings it to life. Those little specks just makes it look even more beautiful and even more delicate. Those very small details. All right, so as you can see, I covered up one side with a sheet of paper so you can see how it would look if you cut it down the middle. And I'm tempted to just cut it and frame only this side, having like the mat and the frame go around one side of the wings for the butterfly. All right, so that is our tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you try to paint this butterfly. I always like when you guys tag me in your paintings. So I used Instagram the most at Keys in Color. You can tag me using that handle, or you can tag me on Facebook, on my Facebook page with the handle Keys in Color. I will see you guys on the next video. If you're interested in learning more about how to paint things loosely, butterflies, I have a course on changing butterfly paintings into textiles. I will leave a link in the description box for that. Have a great week creating.